The spread, more than a dozen states will list them. And that first known case in New York City, what we've learned about her. The warning today from New York's governor, and tonight Dr. Jen Ashton answering your questions right here. Has the virus been quietly spreading in parts of the U.S. for weeks? The White House tonight issuing new travel alerts urging Americans not to visit parts of Italy, among other places. Major airlines suspending flights. And American college students brought home from Italy, one student telling us he was not screened upon returning to the U.S. The stock market tonight bouncing back nearly 1,300 points today. What was it that calmed markets? Will it last? Major news tonight in the race for 2020. First, Pete Buttigieg bowing out. Then today, Amy Klobuchar out of the race too. And tonight, both of them racing to Texas to endorse Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders tonight says the establishment is worried. The system moving across the country, the deadly pileup, more than 100 vehicles involved. And tomorrow, the system from the south right up through Raleigh, D.C. to Boston. Ginger Z has the track. The search for a missing 11-year-old boy tonight, his stepmother now under arrest. What we've learned, the tense standoff outside the home of this DA, her husband pulling out a gun. And tonight, remembering a well-known host who got many famous names to reveal a lot.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here to start a new week. And we begin tonight with fast-moving developments involving the coronavirus here in the U.S. Tonight, the virus has now taken at least 6 lives here in the U.S., and there are at least 100 confirmed cases. The toll growing, and with testing, they are expecting that number to rise. On Friday here, those cases diagnosed in 9 states from California to Massachusetts. And tonight, take a look. At least 4 more states, including New York and Florida, more than a dozen states now. And those 6 deaths attributed to the virus, 4 of them at a nursing care facility in Kirkland, Washington. Schools closed in several locations, this one in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And the first case now in New York City, what we've learned about her, and the governor today saying they hope to be able to test 1,000 people a day. Dr. Jen Ashton standing by to answer your questions tonight. Has the virus been circulating in some U.S. communities for weeks now? We begin tonight in Washington State, the center of a lot of concern. ABC's Kaylee Hartung in Kirkland, Washington tonight.
Tonight, a growing emergency outside Seattle. The death toll from the coronavirus climbing to 6 in Washington State.
The risk for all of us of becoming infected will be increasing.
4 of those victims lived at this nursing care facility, now the center of this outbreak. Colleen Mallory's 89-year-old mother, Peggy, who suffers from dementia, is a resident.
You know, if she gets sick, she's going to be gone.
Colleen got to see her mom today, but fears she's been exposed to the virus.
They wouldn't tell me anything about a roommate who has been removed from the facility. And my mom's been in the room with her for all this time.
New research suggests the virus has been quietly spreading here for weeks, often by people without symptoms. Across the country, the number of cases climbing to at least 100 across 13 states. Today, Travis Air Force Base in California releasing about 140 passengers from the Diamond Princess cruise ship after weeks in quarantine. But the mayor of San Antonio declaring a state of emergency, moving to block any evacuees quarantined at nearby Laughlin Air Force Base from entering the city. The mayor slamming the CDC for releasing a woman hours before a final test for the virus came back positive.
I find it totally unacceptable that CDC would release a patient prior to receiving all test results and potentially expose the public to this harm. We simply cannot have a screw-up like this from our federal partners.
That infected person visited a hotel, a mall, and a food court before being put into isolation. New York State hopes to be able to test up to 1,000 people a day after announcing its first case in Manhattan. A 39-year-old healthcare worker who returned from work in Iran is now self-quarantining at her home with her husband. Officials are reaching out to fellow passengers on her flight and her livery cab driver.
There is no doubt that there will be more cases where we find people who test positive. We said early on, it wasn't a question of if, but when. This is New York. We're a gateway to the world.
The city now disinfecting more schools, buses, and subways. In Rhode Island, this high school is closed and 38 people under quarantine after a student and faculty member tested positive for the virus following a school trip to Italy. And as the virus spreads, Americans from coast to coast taking no chances, braving long lines to stock up on supplies, finding some shelves bare.
And Kaylee joins us tonight from outside that nursing care center. And Kaylee, health officials there in Washington, I know, are preparing for the situation to get much worse, even planning to set up special isolation units. How will this work?
Well, David, today we learned that officials are in the process of buying a motel and bringing in modular housing units, all to put people in who need to be in isolation. We already know of dozens of first responders and healthcare workers who are quarantined tonight, many of them because they were exposed to the virus here at this nursing home. Washington State is bracing for this virus to continue to spread. David?
One of the first U.S. communities to be tested like this. Kaylee Hartung tonight. Kaylee, thank you. Meantime, the White House issuing new travel alerts this evening after earlier advisories about travel to China, now urging Americans not to visit parts of Italy as well. But what about travelers and college students coming home to the U.S.? Are they being tested when they get here? Are they being screened before they even leave? What we learned today, and here's ABC's Maggie Rulli tonight.
Tonight, some of Italy's most famous tourist sites, from Milan to Rome, deserted. The number of coronavirus cases there spiking 120% in the last 48 hours to more than 1,800 cases. Delta and American Airlines now suspending all flights to Milan. This as the U.S. State Department's issuing its highest travel warning for parts of Italy and South Korea.
We want to lower the amount of travel to and from the most impacted areas. This is a basic containment strategy.
American college students sent home from their studies in Italy, reuniting with their families. Syracuse University student Eli Schwemmler was forced to return from Florence. When arriving in America last Friday, he says there was no screening.
I was not stopped or tested for a fever or anything, which kind of surprised me. I figured they'd at least take my temperature, but none of that happened.
Tonight, fears rippling across the globe. In Paris, the Louvre shuttering for a second day. Museum workers concerned about exposure. In Japan, a marathon that normally has about 30,000 runners reduced to a few hundred elite competitors. 12 million students shut out of school today. A church in Rome closed after a priest was infected. At his first public appearance in days, the Pope struggling with a cough, addressing the crowd. Admitting he has a cold, he's canceled his next public event, although there is no connection to the virus.
So let's get to Maggie Rulli reporting in from London tonight. And Maggie, the student there who came in from Florence, said he was not screened when he arrived back here in the U.S. A short time ago, Vice President Mike Pence was asked about screening people coming from Italy, and you've got news on that tonight?
Yeah, David, just moments ago, the vice president said that within the next 12 hours, people leaving Italy will be screened in Italy before they're allowed to come back into the United States. He said their temperatures will be taken multiple times. But, David, it's still not known what's going to happen to these Americans once they come back to the United States, considering that Syracuse University student says he was never tested once he got back into the country. David?
All right, Maggie Rulli tonight. Maggie, thank you. We know so many of you at home have questions, among them word that authorities in Washington State believe that this coronavirus has been spreading there for weeks. And so let's get right to our chief medical editor, Dr. Jen Ashton, back with us tonight. That really got our attention today, Jen, and we were sort of curious. Do you think we're going to learn in the coming days that we have communities around the country where coronavirus has been present for weeks now?
I don't think that would be surprising, David. We have to remember we're pretty much 2 months into this, and because so many cases are mild, it may just be that people aren't sick enough, on the most part, to seek medical attention.
Which would be a silver lining in this if we find out there have been many cases, we just have not been aware of them.
It would be reassuring, yeah.
There was the ER doctor from New York City who went on cable news this morning. It got a lot of attention because he said if someone presents with flu-like symptoms or severe respiratory symptoms, that he still does not have a rapid diagnostic test kit for coronavirus. You and I have been talking about this for many, many nights now. Is that not alarming?
I think it reflects the frustration on the part of healthcare providers who are trying to test people for this. But some good news, we just learned that even right here in New York City, tests are now being deployed. And so hopefully that will continue rapidly across the country.
Ripple effect in ERs across the country. In the meantime, one of the things that I think will reassure folks at home is that we continue to see that children tend to be faring quite well.
Yeah, from the case reports, David, on this, children under the age of 9 represent just about 1% of coronavirus cases. There have been, thankfully, no pediatric deaths, and it's not known whether children are resistant to this virus or whether they actually become infected and just don't develop symptoms. But either way, that is good news.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton with us on this Monday night. Jen, thank you. President Trump today addressing the coronavirus threat and the idea of a vaccine. Several countries working hard, but how soon? So let's go to the White House and senior White House correspondent Terry Moran, senior national correspondent. Terry, vaccine likely still more than a year away, but the president today saying progress is being made. Let's listen.
We're working very hard to expedite the longer process of developing a vaccine. We're also moving with maximum speed to develop therapies so that we can help people recover as quickly as possible. We have a lot of recovery going on.
The president on the coronavirus today. And Terry, we've seen an evolution of sorts from the president from Friday night's rally through Saturday and then to today, a very serious tone on coronavirus.
We sure have seen that change in tone, David. Last week, as it was clear that this coronavirus was arriving in the United States, the president went to his tried and tested playbook. He downplayed the threat. He sweet-talked the markets. He excoriated Democrats in the media at that rally and in mean tweets for exploiting it as the latest hoax, in his words. Different president today, as we just heard, and a very different White House. This is a place which hasn't seen regular press briefings in years. And yet Vice President Mike Pence, who's the head of the coronavirus task force, promised that he would have regular briefings here, and he is letting the public health experts step forward. One sign of that, when asked a question, he said, "I think I'll let the experts answer that one." David?
Terry Moran live at the White House tonight. Terry, thank you. And we took note of a big rebound in the financial markets today after last week, of course, the worst week since the financial crisis in 2008. Today, the Dow gaining nearly 1,300 points, the most points gained ever in a single day, up 5%. Investors encouraged by signals from the Federal Reserve that they'll consider interest rate cuts if needed, and similar remarks tonight by financial ministers overseas. They do expect volatility ahead, though. And now to the race for 2020 tonight. Super Tuesday tomorrow, 15 contests across 14 states and 1 territory. There is major news tonight. 2 candidates on the Democratic side dropping out, and they're about to endorse Joe Biden tonight. Pete Buttigieg bowing out yesterday. Today, Amy Klobuchar doing the same. Both of them now racing to Texas tonight to endorse Biden, fresh off that blowout win in the South Carolina primary. Bernie Sanders, meanwhile, today saying the establishment is worried. ABC's Eva Pilgrim one-on-one with Joe Biden tonight, and she asks him if this comes down to a 2-man race against Sanders, can he beat him?
Tonight, a major shakeup on the eve of Super Tuesday. Pete Buttigieg and now Amy Klobuchar both dropping out and heading to Dallas to endorse Joe Biden.
You know, just a few days ago, the pundits declared my campaign dead. But then along came South Carolina.
The former vice president's landslide win reshaping the race. Buttigieg ending his campaign the next day.
I will no longer seek to be the 2020 Democratic nominee for president.
He's been blunt. The party must not nominate a Democratic socialist like Sanders.
Let's put forward somebody who's actually a Democrat. Look.
Joe Biden chuckling there on the debate stage, but Sanders today undaunted by the growing moderate opposition.
There is a massive effort trying to stop Bernie Sanders. The political establishment is coming together, and they will do everything. They are really getting nervous that working people are standing up.
The Vermont senator drawing the biggest crowds of anyone in the race. Overnight, 15,000 people rallying in California.
The candidate who wins in California has an excellent chance to win the Democratic nomination.
Mike Bloomberg also pumping millions into California, and today making it clear that unlike Buttigieg and Klobuchar, he's not going anywhere.
I felt sorry for them, but I'm in it to win it, and we are going to go out and we're going to go get them.
But Biden confident that at the end of the day, he'll be the one squaring off against Bernie Sanders.
Do you think if it comes down to you and Bernie Sanders, you can beat Bernie Sanders?
Yes. Well, there you have it. Eva Pilgrim with Joe Biden today. She's live from outside Dallas tonight. And Eva, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar heading there tonight to stand with Joe Biden. He's going to go all out to try to keep his momentum. And boy, he's getting help from 2 powerhouse candidates he was just competing against on the debate stage.
Yeah, David, Joe Biden knows he's being outspent and out-organized in a lot of these Super Tuesday states, but he got that big boost coming off of South Carolina. Biden told me he doesn't have to win tomorrow, but he does need to stay within striking distance going into next week. States he thinks play more to his strengths. David?
All right, Eva Pilgrim, we'll see you right here tomorrow night. Eva, the entire political team here for Super Tuesday. Tomorrow night, our coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, right after World News Tonight, and we'll be going well into the early morning hours tomorrow night right here. The news continues tonight on a new threat to peace in Afghanistan, 2 days after that landmark deal between the U.S. and the Taliban. The Taliban already threatening to resume attacks on Afghan government forces, and they are now demanding